Hi everyone, I'm Natasha. Today I wanted to talk through about the right PPE for doing resin. When I first started, I didn't use any PPE. I just used gloves. I used these little rubber gloves here, just your typical sort of food handling ones, because I thought I just needed something that wouldn't give me an allergic reaction and would protect me from resin. That's it, because resin cures, goes hard on your fingers, it's sticky, hard to wash off, all that stuff. Um, then I noticed that I was starting to get quite itchy. My hands were getting dry and starting to peel really badly. Um, I started getting like a sore chest, a little bit itchy in my chest, which was weird, getting a sore throat, and I thought I just had a bug. After doing a bit more research, I realized that resin, because of the fumes, it can get into your lungs, it can cause asthma, it can cause this thing called itchy lung. It can also give you like a skin rash, which is called resin rash. And so I was thinking about just giving up resin altogether just because it seems so dangerous. The way I see it, you pretty much need to treat doing resin like you're working in a meth lab, because it's just right in the air. The smell can be strong. Even if you have a resin that's, marked as non-toxic or non-scented, you still need to be careful, because resin can be quite unpredictable if you do the measurements a little bit off. If you do, say, like for example, last week I was meant to do 3 parts. I think it was let's have a look. Yeah, 3 parts resin and 1 part hardener, and I accidentally did 2 parts resin and 1 part hardener, thinking that's the 3 parts. My resin got hot, it started steaming, I thought it was going to catch on fire, and that was all up in the air. And if that gets into your lungs, it's pretty much probably like smoking crack. So don't do it. Wear the right PPE. You can't just wear one of those like masks. I got one here. I did get one of those, just those cloth sort of masks that are meant to be marked safe for chemicals. The air gets into the sides, they're not good enough. You need a respirator. I've got the 3M, it's upside down. So this one here, it's got the sides that come off. I don't want to pull this off, I already broke it. But you've got the filters on the inside. This one's got 2 layers. I got this one from Bunnings. You can buy them online. Online you can get them, between $30 and $50. I'm not sure how good they are. I'm not sure, what the regulations are like. They're from overseas. That's what it looks like on there. You just snap them on. This one's from Bunnings. I think I paid $100 for this one. It's worth it. I haven't had any itchy lungs. I haven't had any, throat issues since using these. They are tricky for breathing. You don't want to wear it for too long. In the instructions, your respirator will tell you how long you can wear it for. But it just goes onto the face like this. And then this part here goes like that. And I don't know if you can hear me, but this part clips behind your neck. So this one is 100% must for your PPE. If you're not going to get one of these, you shouldn't do resin, because you can make yourself really sick and you can cause yourself long-term health effects. The second thing that's really important is your goggles. So they're not only important for, if you have any splashback, because it gets in your eyes, you can lose your eyesight depending on how hot it is, and you don't want that. So yeah, just something that's got proper sealing around the edges. You can also get respirators that come with a full face shield. They're probably better. I don't like wearing these. They're uncomfortable. It makes it even trickier to breathe, because you got the respirator that comes down here and then these on top, and it's not fun. But at a minimum, at least something like this with a respirator if you don't want to get the full face shield. Thirdly, gloves. I start off using these because they're made for, chemical proof. I actually started off using those first ones I showed you. These ones, which were wrong. Do not use them. The chemicals can go through them, can damage your hands. It may not seem like it's going through because it's not necessarily wet, but these do not protect against any chemical whatsoever. Especially if the resin gets hot, which it does, and goes on your hands, you can burn yourself. These ones are chemical ones, but as you'll see, They are horrible to work with. You will drop everything. These bits get stuck into your resin and you ruin your pieces if you're doing anything intricate. So go past those. Don't get rubber gloves. Go straight to the nitrile ones. You can get these at Bunnings for like $20. They're worth it. You get 100 in a pack. You can buy them online. They're thin. They're easy to work with. They look good if you're doing videos and you want to show your hands or whatever. But they're a bit baggy, but they're pretty easy to work with. These are the wrong size for me though. They're a large and I'm usually a medium. So these are one of the 3 most important things you need for resin. Best to work in a ventilated area. I do my stuff in my garage and I have the garage open when I'm doing my resin plus the mask. Online they'll tell you that if you have a ventilated area, resin's fine, you don't need your mask. You'll see a lot of people online doing their videos with no respirator because you can't talk with a respirator. You need to do the voiceovers. Because as you saw before, I'm completely muffled and you can't understand anything I'm saying. So if you're going to do the videos, just do the voiceovers. They're just as good. People understand and safety is most important. So yeah, ventilated area. Don't listen to what they say online about ventilated area means you don't need to wear a respirator. Just wear the respirator. Another important thing that I must mention is that when you take your respirator off, go out of the room that you're doing the resin. Don't take your respirator off in the room that you're doing resin. It kind of defeats the purpose of wearing it. Wear it until you get out of the room. Close the door. If you're doing something in the garage like I am, try and keep that door closed while everything's curing so you don't have any fumes going into the main part of the home, especially if you have kids or pets or anything. Don't have your pet hanging around you while you're doing your resin because they're going to get the fumes and they can't really wear a respirator. I don't advise it anyway. So when you're finished with your respirator and your resin or whatever, go out with your respirator, hang your respirator up somewhere that's not in the room that you're working. I used to just leave my respirator in the room that I was doing my resin, which means that all the fumes and other particles are just going into my respirator. I put it on and then I'm just breathing all that in. Also best to wear your respirator when you're working with anything like glitter and mica powder, little sparkles and everything, because that also can all get into your lungs, and you don't want that. You can get asthma. You may have not had asthma ever in your life and then develop it just from not having proper protection. Which brings me to making sure that your area is clean from like dust particles. I've just got a little dirt devil that I got from Bunnings for like $30-40. I just clean up my area afterwards, get rid of any glitter, any sort of dust or anything. It just helps keep the area clear. You can have fires just because of the dust particles, and resin, everything like that. It's not the safest hobby in the world. And then there was one more thing. I'm going to pause it while I think of it. Another thing to keep in mind is when you're working with resin, it does get quite hot. If you're using something deep, like one of these, if it's deep and like narrow, it can get hot quite quickly. You want to work with your resin, as fast as you can, or at least get it into what you're pouring into, and then work with it. They do have depending on what resin you use, they have different cure times. But if you're using something that's sort of shallow, I don't have anything here, for example, something more shallow, you've got a bit more time. Just because, it does get quite hot. It can burn your fingers. It can, I'm pretty sure it could catch on fire because it gets really smoky when you leave it for too long. So try and, keep in mind your working time and what kind of dishes you're using to mix your resin. And yeah, I think I've covered everything. If I can think of anything else, I'll pop it in the video. But just keep your space clear. Keep your PPE on while you're in here. Take your PPE out afterwards. If you can, keep your hair up. Maybe put a net or a hat on just so you're not getting resin fumes in your hair. You can wear the hazmat suits so you're not going to get resin rash on your skin, or just, wear something that's covering your body. Resin does sometimes splash up at you when you're a bit frivolous with it, so keep that in mind. And I always take a shower straight after resin, so I try and time my resin to, you know, when I'm going to have a shower straight after, because I don't want to go around sitting on furniture or touching anything when I've got all this resin type fumes on me. So I hope that this video was informative and helped you out. Please consider using the correct PPE when you're doing resin so you can keep yourself safe. Thank you for watching.